week's edition of Magic the Amateuring.
That's right. By which Maria means we're coming to you live from San Francisco.
That's right. We are on the set of Full House, and we've got the Olsen twins on the show this week.
That's right, except it turns out that they're one person.
Yep. The Olsen twins, just one person split in half.
The Olsen twin.
The Olsen twin.
As you should really call them.
If you remember, you've never seen them in 3 dimensions, only
That's
in
true.
2 dimensions,
That's true.
because they're just both one half of one person.
Correct.
Yeah, split down the middle like a cartoon.
Yeah, so you only see them in profile.
Yeah.
You never see them straight on.
That is right.
Well, Maria.
Yes, Meghan.
What is this show?
Well, besides being on the set of Full House in San Francisco
Yes.
with the Olsen twin joining us, we also have a bunch of our friends joining us for this episode.
Wait, go all the way back.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
What do you mean?
What are we?
Oh, yeah, we're a podcast about magic, by the way.
Thank you for jogging my memory. Sometimes I sit down here and I forget.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's a problem.
This is Magic the Amateuring.
Yes, Magic the Amateuring.
Yes, a podcast about Magic the Gathering.
Where we talk about magic for people who are new to the game, people returning to the game, and anybody who likes to have a chuckle down where the coal goes. Like if you were powered by coal, where would the coal go? I am unfortunately
in your engine. So you're talking about like a chuckle in your engine?
Yeah, in your engine.
Yeah.
If I was coal powered, that's where it would happen. I fortunately survive on food and water.
Yes.
But I know not everybody is
more abundant
coal-powered.
resources.
Some of us are wind powered, and to you I say, good job. You're making it work for
I'm
the
solar.
environment. Oh, you're solar powered?
I am.
Vegetable oil.
The voice you hear is one of our 3 friends joining us.
Yes, we Megan's a lizard person, solar powered. Are lizards solar powered?
I mean, they eat.
Just think about it.
I thought about it. Okay, moving on.
Okay, the reason we have packed in our studio here 3 of our friends is because we're going to do a very special episode this week about how to qualify for the Pro Tour. And we're not inviting pros on. I mean, we are actually, but I mean, like big time, I've attended 20 pro tours or whatever, because what we want to know is, how do you qualify for your first pro tour, and what does it take to, go through all the work and blood, sweat, and tears it takes to qualify for your very first PT.
Yes, but before we get started, we have some people to thank. The first people we thank are the people that are you.
Yes, congratulations on being awesome.
Those of you that support us on Patreon, thank you so much. Our gratitude is boundless, and that like the ocean.
It is like the ocean.
But unlike the ocean, it does not have depth.
It only has bounds?
No, it is depthless.
Wait, what?
So our gratitude is depthless.
Okay.
The ocean does have depth.
Yeah, we are deeper than the ocean. That's
right.
what we're saying. And if you delve deep into the darkest depths of our gratitude, you'll find not only little fish with a lantern on their head, which are so cool.
You will find lobsters that are so big, they could eat a ship.
That are 300 years old.
That's right.
You will also find awesome Patreon rewards.
Did you know, don't lobsters live forever?
Yeah, they
or is
have
that jellyfish? Do you know there are some jellyfish that can go back to their adolescent state?
Oh, wow. I wish I could do that.
It's a big jellyfish that can force
force teenagers? I'm going to force teen myself. Hold on. Force teen.
Anyways, we also should think
I'm 14 now. I'm going back.
How are you?
I'm 12. Oh, how do I stop it? How do I stop it? I'm Benjamin buttoning myself.
That's what I was looking for. There are jellyfish that can Benjamin button themselves.
Wow.
Isn't that creepy?
That's cool.
Anyways.
Animals are neat.
Thanks as well to cardkingdom.com. Cardkingdom.com/MTAcats. An amazing place to pick up boosters, to pick up singles, to pick up trade binders, to pick up things that go inside trade binders, to pick up sleeves. To pick up just about anything that you need to play the game of Magic.
Megan is wearing the cool new swag from cardkingdom.com. Go to cardkingdom.com/MTAcast, which activates the affiliate code activated. And so they know that you're coming and as a supporter of this show. Patreon.com/MTAcast, a place to go to throw your $1 an episode, which goes longer than $1 should. We'll just save that much.
Yes. Also, what was I thinking? I don't remember.
More about jellyfish?
Yeah, do you know what? I can't remember what I was just thinking right now.
Have you ever stepped on a jellyfish?
No. Have you?
No.
Good.
But I worry about it.
Why? You're not near the ocean.
It's just one of those things. Well, I'll be near the ocean. It'll be a happy day and everything's fine. And then I look down, boom, jellyfish sting.
You're pre-worrying about an ocean trip that you don't have planned?
Yes.
All right.
Because I have been to the ocean and I have, gone. And then after I've been there, I've realized I did not worry about jellyfish while I was there.
That seems like a blessing and not a curse.
I should have worried because what if they were there?
You shouldn't have worried because do you know what doesn't stop a jellyfish?
Worrying.
Exactly.
Put that on a poster. It's so true.
Anyways, I read a really good book that's where I learned that jellyfish
really?
fact.
Is it just full of jellyfish facts?
No. It's a middle grade novel called it's like The Thing About Jellyfish or The Truth About Jellyfish. It's one or the other. It's really good. I cried while I read it. Anyways, check it out.
Truth About Cats and Dogs, however, has no facts about cats or dogs.
And it's a terrible movie. It's so bad. And it's like deeply disturbing.
It's pretty
honestly.
bad, actually. Yeah.
Anyway, we have our friends here.
Let's do a show. Welcome, friends, to Magic the Amateuring. I should say welcome new pros.
That's right. Except for Matt, who's done this before.
Yes, we
No
lied
big
to
deal.
you. We have a second-time Pro Tour competitor in the room.
That's right.
And a couple of first-timers.
You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, go around the room and say your name and like how you qualified, and also a fun fact about yourself because this is an exercise like at the beginning of a work meeting.
Oh, exciting.
We'll start down here with Greg.
Hi, my name's Greg. I qualified for the Pro Tour just a few weekends ago, just last weekend.
Fresh. It's
fresh.
fresh.
It's very fresh. It's new. It's still hard to believe. I played at Grand Prix Denver just the other weekend. I played Blue White Monument, which is the exact same deck Maria played. We practiced together.
Very different results for the two
the
of
deck.
us.
I ran a little hotter. I did a little better, and I made it to the top 8. And so finishing in the top 8 of that GP qualified me for actually not the next Pro Tour, which these guys are going to, but I qualified for the Modern Pro Tour in Bilbao, Spain in February.
What? That's so exciting.
Cool, Greg.
And
airfare.
And airfare, yes. And I've pretty much never played Modern in my life, so we'll see how that goes.
All right, moving right along, Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam. My favorite cereal is Oat Bundle cereal.
What is an oat bundle?
It's a generic brand cereal.
Which one is it mimicking?
I wish I knew.
Okay. Anyways, keep going.
Oat bundles.
But
Good.
I placed it top 2 at an RPTQ. So the RPTQ system, you make it to the top 8, and depending on how many players are at the RPTQ, you have to either get top 2, top 4, or top 8. I managed to get into the top 2, and I qualified for Pro Tour Ixalan in Albuquerque.
And what was the format of the RPTQ?
Standard. I was actually playing a deck that belonged to and was previously piloted by this character right here the weekend before.
All right, this character, introduce yourself.
I'm Matt. I qualified 1 weekend before Sam and 2 weekends before Greg at Grand Prix. 3 weekends?
Nope, it was 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
At Grand Prix Minneapolis, where I made the top 8 there, playing Ramanop Red, as they call it. And that was the deck that I handed off to Sam for the RPDQ the next weekend. So we got 2 Pro Tour qualifications out of 1 deck.
Wow.
Those cards are
Very
blessed.
I'm really fortunate that he made the top 8 of the GP because I wouldn't have had a deck for the standard RPTQ otherwise.
Because Matt would have been playing it.
Yes, because Matt would have been playing.
All right.
Yeah, so I also qualified for Pro Tour Ixalan in Albuquerque in November.
But like we said, it's not the first Pro Tour you're playing because you played
Right.
Nashville. And
Right.
how did you queue for Nashville?
I qualified for Nashville, Pro Tour Amonkhet, also via an RPTQ, also standard. And that was in April, May. I think the RPTQ was in March or April. So yeah, 2 Pro
And we
Tours,
should
yeah.
point out that if you do qualify for the Pro Tour and you do well enough, you automatically get a qualification to go to the next one. So you're doing this on hard mode.
Yeah.
You were one loss short. Was that it?
Yeah, at Pro Tour Amonkhet, I went 10-6, which was 1 win short of.
Sorry, 1 win short. Yeah.
1 win short of qualifying for Pro Tour Kyoto, which I did not attend.
Which was Hour of
rough.
Devastation.
Hour of Devastation. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, all you have to do is do one better.
Right. Yeah. You gotta go 11-5 with the Pro Tour. No big deal.
Easy.
No problem.
NVD, NVD, you guys.
It's like top 8ing a GP. It can't be that hard.
Well, I mean,
There's two people who did it in this room.
Yeah.
So, like, I want to know from each of you, kind of people who are sitting at home being like, oh, it's kind of a dream of mine to maybe one day make the Pro Tour, but it seems impossible. How do you think that you were able to achieve this kind of goal that a lot of Magic players have?
For me, I would just say just keep trying at it. I've been playing GPs for the last 2 years pretty consistently. I actually checked back after Denver and saw that it was my 15th individual GP with 3 other team GPs with these guys. So over 2 years, I played in 18 GPs until I made the top 8.
That's a lot.
So it's a lot of GPs, but I mean, each one was a blast. Each one was a trip with friends, or you know, a few were local here in Minneapolis or in DC where I used to live. And so just each was an amazing experience, and eventually I managed to crack the top 8.
And you've gotten super close before. Like you had
Yes.
you 9-0 to day 1 and like
Yeah, I've had a few
X1.
top 32 finishes, but this was my first top 8.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. Hit us with your knowledge, Sam.
I don't really play a lot of GPs like these guys do, but I do play a lot of Magic Online, and I think that has made me a better player. I'm not a big constructed player. I play a lot of limited, and last year I was 1 match win away from making the Pro Tour only playing limited. But I suppose playing Magic Online, practicing a lot.
Why do you think playing Magic Online helped you?
You learn the formats, you learn what to expect, you learn if you see your opponent has 3 mana open. The back just fell out of my chair. I apologize.
Please support us patreon.com/MTAcast so we can afford chairs that don't fall apart. Continue.
If they have 3 mana open, at least for in limited a lot, this is true, exactly what combat tricks they could have in constructed, what counter spells to play around, what removal spells to play around. So you just it becomes second nature what to expect. And you can almost just guess what your opponents are going to do while you're playing because you're so used to it. It's a lot of fun too.
Accurate.
You qualified for this RPTQ, which was standard, playing a limited PPTQ, right?
Were you scared to be like, oh, now I have to play standard?
Yes, I was terrified, actually. I went into it not taking it super seriously. I had a deck guide. I had watched standard events. I had not really played in any standard events, though. And I was kind of nervous about it because I didn't really know much about standard. But it worked out anyway.
Well, a lot of skills are applicable across formats. Like, some people are like, oh, I'm only limited player, only constructed player. Well, if you find a deck you know how to play, guess what? You're probably going to be fine as long as you're pretty good in one of those categories.
It's fair.
All right, go ahead.
For qualifying Pro Tour, so I guess I qualified 2 different ways. I think the RPTQ is probably the most consistent or you have the best odds at getting to the Pro Tour, since it's nice that you have a lot of chances to play PPTQs to win a PPTQ to qualify for the RPTQ. So it's kind of like playing in a Grand Prix where you can just keep retrying day 1, and then playing in the RPTQ is kind of like starting day 1 with a very good record, or starting day 2 of a Grand Prix with a very good record in terms of getting to the Pro Tour. But playing a Grand Prix is also, the more events you play, the more chances you have, and since at any individual event, your odds are, not going to be great, even if you're a very good player. So the more events you play, the better your odds. And one thing that made a big difference for playing Grand Prix is to get buys. The first years, or first year I played Grand Prix, I had 0 or 1 buys. And then for this last year, I finally got up to enough Planeswalker points where I had 2 buys, and so then means just you're
Starting off with 2 wins for any tournament is like huge.
Very good. Yeah.
If you have a 50% win rate in that second round, which maybe you don't, maybe it's better, but that would double your chances, right, of making the top 8. I think that's how that works.
Magic encouragement
that.
right here. Any given tournament, your odds of doing well are not great.
Well, your odds of doing very, very well, which is what you
not
need
good.
to
Yeah,
qualify for the
I
Pro
know.
Tour.
And it's not the first time we actually heard that on the show. I want to say
Yeah.
it was Brad Nelson told us that. Or maybe it was BBD who was like, hey, this is what I do. I just play as many as possible because guess what makes my odds better?
Playing as many as possible.
Megan has a bye. How's that feel?
You know, in this room of a bunch of people with 2 buys, whatever, I guess. I'm not even cool.
I don't have 2 buys. I don't grind enough to have 2 buys.
Nice.
One
nice.
thing I want to say on this note, because you asked like what we should do to qualify for the Pro Tour, and we all 3 of us said play more Magic, and I said play more GPs. Sam said play more Magic Online. Matt said play more PPTQs.
Yeah.
One thing that kind of a funny story that I want to share is right after Matt qualified for the Pro Tour, unknowing that Sam and I were going to qualify within the next 2 weeks. Sam and I met for breakfast, and we ate breakfast at this diner, and we discussed pretty much how, it's so exciting that Matt's going to go to the Pro Tour, and we don't really care about the Pro Tour as much. And we were just like, Matt can go off to the Pro Tour, and we'll just continue just playing Magic as a hobby and having a good time. And immediately after that, we both qualified. And I think that actually helped because before then, I'd been really focused. I'd been going to Grand Prix and thinking to myself, man, I really want to qualify for the Pro Tour. Or going to PPTQs and thinking, man, I really, really want to win this event. And I think that pressure of trying to get myself to the Pro Tour really made me play worse. And it kind of became this chore of like, I guess I have to go play another PPTQ to try to make the RPTQ. And when it becomes if the grind that you're doing to make the Pro Tour starts becoming a chore and starts becoming stressful, that's a bad sign. And you should step back. Remember, we're not pros. This is a hobby for us. This is something we should do to escape our stress. And so I think kind of stepping back and being like, I'm going to have fun playing Magic and kind of losing all the stress helped out in the long run.
It's like when you go into for doing an audition. If I'm going in and I'm like, oh, I super want to get this part. I've prepared. I've practiced so much. I have to do it. No, I'm gonna fall on my face. I'm gonna forget what I'm supposed to say, and it's gonna be terrible. And if I'm just like, you know what? Why do I do this? Because it's fun. Let's just go in and be like, whatever. If you want to hire me, hire me. If you don't, then you don't.
And that's how Maria was cast in an upcoming production of Cats.
That's right.
Is that a joke? No, I would go see
I
that.
will be playing Rum Tum Tugger in.
Greg, Cats is the worst musical.
I know, but I would
ever
go
written.
see Maria in it. That sounds hilarious.
Maria, I want to be clear. I would not
Yes.
come see you in a production of Cats.
Are you serious right now?
I would not help you rehearse for it. I would not encourage your participation in this musical.
You wouldn't even come to see me in that
That would be-
outfit?
That would be the best production of a terrible show.
The entire time, I would be sending you things that you could be doing during the run of that show, other than
Being in Cats. Well, good news is not a lot of community theaters put Cats on because
why?
not a lot of people want to be seen in a spandex bodysuit
Yeah,
with a bunch of cat fur on it.
and honestly, that's like the least embarrassing part of being in that show.
Yeah, you do have to keep a straight face while performing it, which is difficult.
Really difficult.
Pretty hard.
Magic the Amateuring, where you can come for Pro Tour advice and more slams on the musical Cats.
I was going to say support the NTA Cast Pantheon, so Maria doesn't have to be.
Please support us patreon.com/MTAcats so I don't have to be in a community theater production of Cats and earn no money because community theater doesn't pay you. I was in a community theater production of Sound of Music.
And you didn't invite us?
This was a long time ago. This was in college. It was all right. I recently watched a video of it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I did that. Weird.
That wasn't too bad. Who were you?
I was Liesel.
Is she the oldest one?
She's the oldest daughter, yeah. So I danced, did some dancing and singing at the same time. Very hard, by the way.
Nice.
Anyway. Magic!
So you guys, Magic the Gathering.
Magic! I want to know, Matt, so you've been to a pro tour. You had a good time, I assume.
I did.
I want you to give your droplets of wisdom to these two gentlemen sitting to your right about what they can expect at their first Pro Tour and just like what would make it a better overall experience for them. Just like, you know, an old time veterans tips.
Give us those droplets right in our mouth.
Open up your mouths for those knowledge droplets.
Mama bird us, Matt.
Man. Okay. Knowledge droplets.
What was it like for you to be there? Well, I'll start off with that.
It was a really great time. Part of what contributed to that was I got to go with a group of friends. I had, I guess, friends of friends. So there's a kind of group of us, maybe like 6 or so, and I got to see you two there. Maria, you were kind of busy doing coverage, but I saw more of Meghan, so that was fun. And so being able to work with a group of people, which obviously Sam and I are definitely going to do. Hopefully we'll be able to join Greg and Bilbao and also practice with them. I mean, it's just so useful to be able to talk things over with people and try and, I mean, obviously the pro teams do this, and, you know, whatever you can do to emulate that is good.
What was the experience like day one when you sat down to play your first draft?
That was very cool. I mean, I think the first thing I realized was like how much the Pro Tour is oriented towards coverage compared to like a Grand Prix tournament. I mean, this isn't like particularly useful tidbit, but it was very interesting. I mean, at Pro Tour Amonkhet, like the lighting was all weird, and they had fog machines going, and like they were about to start the first draft, and like I was kind of nervous, and like everyone's waiting, and they're waiting for them to call the draft, and they're like, okay, hold up, like we gotta wait for coverage, and like 5 minutes later we start.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, okay, that was cool. I mean, I like took it in stride, and I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, there was definitely a fog machine, and the lighting was like very dramatic in Nashville. Wasn't the case in Kyoto, but that's just because I think everything is more expensive in Japan. So we'll have to see what happens at Albuquerque. So be prepared for fog. Be prepared for fog. Okay, got it. But I like this tidbit about pro teams. Like, hey, what are the teams doing that are successful? Well, we're gonna emulate that on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, and this upcoming one is actually going to be kind of different because it's farther past the release of the set.
Yes.
So, I mean, they did this for Amonkhet. They had switched it to move the Magic Online release date up. And now with the forward Magic Online release date and the farther back Pro Tour in the season, it's going to be, I think Magic Online is going to be an even bigger deal than it has been. Since there's going to be, all weeks of data and tournaments leading into it. So I think that probably is going to diminish the edge of the Pro Tour teams. So
you're going to get them.
Yeah, going to get them for sure.
Get it under there.
But I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time practicing on Magic Online and combing through results.
Watching coverage of events.
There'll probably be, I don't think there's any standard Grand Prix before it. There's just like the limited Grand Prix, but there's probably going to be some SCG events.
Tell us how you settled on a deck for Nashville.
I remember kind of waffling between several decks. Going into it, Mardu was like the level 1
When you say
deck.
waffling, you did not just have your decks on top of a bunch of waffles, and whichever waffle tasted the best you used, right?
I did not. That
He
would be a
used
very
pancakes
good system.
instead.
Okay, just saying.
It's
It's an
just
option.
strictly
Bit of a
inferior.
misnomer.
Yeah, I remember Mardu was like maybe the kind of Mardu vehicles was like the base level thing after Amonkhet came out, but then online results had shown Aetherworks Marvel doing quite well, and I really liked how it did against Mardu in particular, and so I was kind of mostly on Aetherworks Marvel. Also, I'd qualified for that Pro Tour playing the 4-color Saheeli Copycat deck.
Which got the axe.
So I'd been hoping to play that, and then they announced that they weren't going to ban it. I was like, oh great, I'm just going to play it again.
Yeah.
Then they banned it the next day. I was like, damn it. But fortunately, I got to just remove, Feldar Guardians of Healy's, put in Aetherworks Marvels and Ulamogs, and call it a day.
Yeah.
But also the people I was preparing with, for the most part, were also on Aetherworks Marvel. They had kind of arrived at that independently, or them as a group. And so I got to compare notes with them and like kind of work to kind of combine what we had been working on to get to something that I was pretty happy with.
What was I going to ask? Oh, yeah. So, I guess just going back for a little context, anybody who's listening to this and thinking, oh, what more tips can I pick up? I just want to baseline, how long have you each been playing Magic, and how much Magic do you think you play in an average week? Starting down here.
I started playing, I played when I was very young. Then I didn't play for a while, and then I started playing my senior year of high school, which would have been 5 years ago, something like that.
We're so old.
We're so old.
I'm
and then
a dusty corpse in a grave. Gray bones in a
Great
grave.
bones in the grave.
And then I started playing competitive events with, I think, my first PPTQ during the Fate Reforged season, and started playing a few of those.
Well, that's not too long ago.
Not too long ago. Lost horribly in the first several, then started losing a bit less horribly, then finally made a top 8 of one months after I started playing them. Then top 8 at another one, eventually made it past the quarterfinals. So I think it took a couple years, and then finally won a PPTQ, and then kind of slowly ramping up from there.
Nice.
Samuel?
I've been playing since... You're right, thank you. I've been playing since 5th grade, I want to say, with my cousin David.
And that was just 2 or 3 years ago.
Now you're in 7th grade.
That was 3 weekends ago, and then 2 weeks ago. And we would play casual Magic, and I showed it to my brother, and my brother and myself really got into it, and we started going to drafts at our local shop, and then I played casually throughout high school, and then I got to college when I started going to pre-releases consistently and weekly tournaments consistently, and by my senior year of college I was going to, at the time, PTQs, which were just a straight to the Pro Tour tournament. And then PPTQs, then RPTQs, and it's like Matt said, it's a ramp up. You play and you do a little bit better every time.
Greg?
Yeah, I also started playing when I was a kid. My older brothers, I think, wanted someone to beat up on in Magic.
Whoa.
So they, convinced me to get some cards.
That's why I got my brother to play.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then I kind of played off and on throughout elementary school, which was a couple days ago. And I discovered FNMs and pre-releases when I was in middle and high school, and would go occasionally, kind of depending on the year. When I went to college, I kind of stopped playing. But me and my brothers started playing again, and the three of us picked up Commander. I've actually been on this podcast talking about this before.
Yes.
You've made some great videos.
Some great videos.
Yes.
And now, since they stopped playing for so long and I kind of kept playing, I'm the one who gets to beat up on them. They'll be mad when they hear me say that. They win too. And then right after I graduated college, I went to my first GP, and I got super lucky, and I cashed my first ever GP.
Wow.
And then I was kind of hooked, and I kept going to GPs and doing pretty well, and I made a really good network of friends through playing Magic, especially post-college. These guys are great. You're both great. And so here I am.
Awesome.
So we already talked about how, Sam, you played mostly limited and then you had to play standard. Greg, you qualified for a modern Pro Tour. Tell us how much modern you play.
I've played in 2 modern events in my life. One of them was a PPTQ with a Valakut deck, which I 2-2'd, dropped. And the other was a GP in Dallas, which was my brother's new home. So I went to visit my brother, played in a modern GP, I had 2 buys, and then I 2-4 dropped.
All right.
So, sorry, that means I 4-4 dropped. I actually won 2 real matches. So my modern experience is not very good. I would love some tips. Collected Company is one of my favorite Magic cards, so I'm hoping I get to play that. I hear it's pretty good.
It is a good card.
There are certainly decks that you can play Collected Company in. Maria's advice is pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
you all know it already.
You to play Boggles, and everybody in this room told me no way, and I said, well, it's going to be your funeral because Boggles is going to take down the next Modern event. You heard it here
I
first.
do have good results playing the same deck as Maria in a tournament.
Wow. Sick burn.
That was meant to be.
I mean, but it certainly came
So
off.
I just want to put a quick plug out for Greg. You wrote a deck tech guide for Blue White Monument on Reddit. Where can people find it?
Yeah, on r-spikes, I wrote up some comments about my deck just because
It was really thorough and very good.
I had seen a lot of people talking about it in random parts of the internet. A few other like Magic podcasts and things were like, "Who is this guy who top-aided with Blue White Monument?" And so I wanted to.
This is this
make
guy.
Sure my thoughts
This guy is
got
this
out
guy.
there.
Everybody.
That's me.
This guy.
Everyone said the deck's bad, and they're kind of right, but you know, you got there and
Greg's just saying he's really, really good. That's
Yeah.
what Greg's saying.
I agree with that
I do
statement.
too.
I tried playing that deck and I thought it was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. So
Really good if you want to play 35-minute game ones
I
and
played
then
a
be
lot of
exhausted
those.
after every match.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You can go to time in game 2.
Yeah, I did that in multiple matches.
Oh, terrible. What would you say to people who are kind of like in the position of what I would probably think, which is like, I feel like it's impossible to try and make a pro tour?
You should, what I said before, just keep playing Magic and having fun. And if you happen to qualify for the Pro Tour, great. If you don't, that's fine. You're having fun along the way.
Like we were just like he said, we were discussing how we weren't gonna make the pro. We were discussing how we weren't gonna make the pro tour,
And then here you are.
and here we are. I think that the attitude of having fun goes a long way.
What? Why are you guys good at Magic? This is a question we ask people on the
Yeah.
Pro Ring, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah.
So,
I'm good because of these two guys.
aww,
Cute.
that's so cute.
One of us was gonna say it. I had to say it first.
Dang.
He just undercut you with the cuteness.
I think like a lot of time and experience spent playing Magic across a lot of different formats has made me good. I think listening to people who are better than me has made me good at Magic. I really like trying to hear what better players and, you know, eat the kernels of wisdom that, or what were we saying? Droplets of wisdom.
Those hot wisdom drops.
Players like
Suckle
Matt.
the wisdom drops
yes.
from Matt's
Yes.
brow.
I would not be here if it were not for wisdom drops from Matt.
All right. It's not where I thought you were going to go with that, but I guess that's better. Just more nonsense.
Why are you so good, Matt?
Good question. Am I?
Yes, you're a good Magic player,
I think
Matt.
You're a good Magic player.
I think I've been successful the most. Well, I think I've had the most success at standard tournaments. I think even though like these guys, I played a lot of limited, and I started playing limited and really focused on that. I think I enjoy standard a lot. Enjoy thinking about it a lot, and it's very easy for me to get very obsessed with it. So the tournaments that I've done well in, I've been very obsessed with standard. I've practiced a lot on Magic Online. So that's been very important to get a lot of practice in, be very comfortable with my deck. And also, of course, to be practicing with better players and to discuss playing the decks, discuss building decks with my whole network of Magic friends.
You know what I would like to take a moment to say is that we could be sitting in here in this room with a fourth Pro Tour qualifier, Megan Wolf. I feel like she would have won at least one of those matches. At
But
that.
then
She would have had to play against.
She would have had to fight.
I would have had to
Oh.
play against
So
Sam.
then we would have had 3 and Sam would not have been.
Yeah.
It'd be 3 no
It'd be a
matter
lot
what.
more cozy in here without, you know.
Cold.
But I just want to hear Megan's answer to why you're good at Magic.
Am I?
Yes.
I'll echo Matt. Really, because I've really been bummed out at my last few GPs.
Well, our GP wasn't great, but you know.
Yeah.
But that RPTQ is no joke.
I don't know. I mean, we talked about it. I felt like I got very lucky.
Luck is part of it.
How do you think
it
any
really
of us
is.
qualified
Really
for the
is.
Pro Tour?
Well, we've talked about that before, and it's not to say like there is like a lot of practice. You know, you
Yes.
practice a lot, but you also it doesn't happen without some luck on the day of.
I should tell you the story of the PPTQ that I won. I was first seed going into the top 8, and I knew I wanted to draft a red-green deck because when you are in the top 8, your player draw decision is based on your seed going in. So I knew I would be on the play every single match.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I told Greg before the draft started, I said, Greg, what I want to open right now is a Samut. This was during Amonkhet, so Samut was the creature.
The creature.
And I said, I want to open a Samut.
Which is a mythic rare.
A
So the
mythic
odds of
rare.
this happening are like
Oh my
so
god.
low.
I even tried to make a bet on it, and Greg would
I was like,
not
don't
take
throw
me
away
up.
your money, Sam. I'm not making a bet with you.
And of course, pack 1, pick 1, I opened the pack, and there sitting at the back was a Samut. And this draft was, the entire draft was like this. Pack 2, my opponent, or my person to my left passed me an insult to injury. And pack 3, of course, I got past a glory bringer. So
Oh my
there is a
dog.
degree of luck. There is a degree of luck.
I was standing behind
That's
him and he just
insane.
turned around and looked at me with the like most condescending smirk I've ever seen on anyone's face in my life.
Told you.
That's
Amazing.
insane.
I remember seeing a photo of that draft deck, and it was insane.
Yeah, it was
That
a good deck.
Very, very good deck.
I obviously had to play it well, but the deck really did play itself in a lot of ways.
Wow, that's
That's
incredible.
amazing. So tell me, what are you guys most excited about? Like, when you
good
think about,
question.
like, I'm going to my first Pro Tour, what are you like, holy cow, excited about?
Instead of fog machines, I want them to have animatronic dinosaurs.
Oh my god, I didn't even
So
think about that.
good.
That's so.
You have sway, Maria. You have sway.
Not that much sway. Those things sound expensive.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a good chance that there'll be something like that. They usually do get like a big prop or two to put in the feature match area.
I saw
So-
a giant dinosaur.
Giant dinosaur, but animatronic, so it's like roar.
Coverage dressed as pirates.
Oh, man.
No, that would be.
What if we
Ooh,
dressed
that
as
I think I can have
pirates?
happen.
Yeah.
You are.
We would be those guys.
Yeah.
You could be the pirate boys. And then like when
That
there's
me.
the shot out over the floor, it's like, oh, check out the pirate boys there in the middle of the room.
Look, everyone, pirate boys.
It's the pirate
We
boys.
could try to come up with a better name than that.
No, I like
Commit
pirate
to
boys.
wearing pirate costumes.
Oh man, you guys should develop like a rivalry with another set of people, and then you all can dress as the Lost Boys, and then they'll dress as pirates. That'll be Peter Pan.
Ooh, you could try playing with
Megan,
the
will
hook.
you be the alligator? Or the crocodile?
Yeah, with the clock in
I'll
it.
be the
Crocodile.
clockrodile.
You know, that's what you could do because you could be the official the time for the round.
Oh my god! But would I have to hold a ticking clock like in my
Yes.
mouth the
Yes,
entire time?
you would. But it would be so flavorful. I'm just saying.
Or
worth
you
it.
could get an animatronic dinosaur alligator to put a clock in its
Yes.
mouth.
Ooh, okay, right. Great. Well, great answer.
I like all the musical theater references we've had in this podcast between Cats and Peter Pan.
We are slowly inching towards becoming both a medical and a musical theater podcast.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
magic all in one.
Well, when we streamed, we played musicals
We
on
did.
our stream. It's
We
pretty great.
did. Yeah. You can catch us on twitch.tv/magictheamateur. It's my stream, everybody. Yeah, what are you two looking forward to? I mean,
Mine
animatronics,
wasn't a real answer,
obviously,
by the way.
Yeah.
but
That would be so cool.
It
Though.
would be
Especially the
sick.
feathered animatronic dinosaurs.
Yes.
Those feathered dinosaurs look sweet.
yeah, they're beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, there's a bunch of cards that have been officially now previewed, which we will talk about. But for now, we're talking PT Talk. What are you excited about? Go ahead.
Honestly, I'm excited to go to Spain.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
pretty cool to be able to like go on an international trip and have my flight paid for by Wizards. Thank you, Wizards.
Thank you, Wizard.
So, but I also like I don't know. I've been playing at a lot of GPs, and I've kind of learned that I can win at them and can play Magic at a top level, and so I'm really excited to see how that translates, going one level higher to see if I can play there. Also, Sam, this is something you told me a long time ago that you have forgotten, and so I'm gonna steal from you. But it's really like legitimizing.
That's a word.
Sure, it's
Yeah,
really legitimizing to be able to like tell your friends and family that you're playing on the Pro Tour, because people are like, ugh, like look at this nerd. He's like he's almost 25 and he's
nerd.
wasting all his time playing Magic the Gathering. But when I can be like, oh, but like I'm going to play at
I'm
the
going
top
to
level
Spain.
there is, they're flying me to Spain. That really like makes it legit, and so I'm happy about that.
People don't realize what that means until you tell them the details, and then no one goes, "Oh wow, what a nerd!" They go, "Wow, I'm really impressed.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job." Because you are, Greg.
Thanks, Sam. You too.
I just also will say, I don't know who would have ever looked at me like, wow, look at that nerd.
Yeah.
That's what I say to myself every morning in the mirror.
It was Greg in the mirror every morning.
Look at that nerd. Matt, what are you excited for heading to your second pro tour?
Question. Well, to see the beautiful town of Albuquerque, New Mexico. To be fair, I think I've heard some nice things about it, but slightly less exciting than Spain. I'm looking forward to, again, playing at this high level and trying to, test myself, I guess, is part of it. I know I'm going to have a good group of friends there that I'm going to be able to hang out with. So I'm excited to show up and play and be on the biggest stage.
So what was it like, by the way, playing with the best players in the world at your last pro tour? Did you notice like just a higher overall standard of play?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. On my first day, my draft pod, there wasn't anyone I was aware of, which was a nice way to start the day. But then once we got to constructed, I got paired against just a series of gold and platinum pros, like Paul Rietzel, Martin Mueller, Andre Strasky, just all in a row. So that was very cool. And yeah, I mean, I noticed that, they were not giving me any free chances to win the game, right? I had to play as well as I could in order to get wins.
Yeah, it's always funny when you see the first like draft pod of the morning, and it's the table, with all the, the biggest. They've got a few big names in it, and there's at least two people every time with their first pro tour, and they're sitting there just like deer in the headlights. Oh
That was day 2 of a GP. There were 2 plat pros and like 2 silver pros in my pod, and they all knew each other, and they were all like, "Hey, how's it going, man? It's nice to see you."
But you know what? You got there just the same as all of them. So
Yeah, you did.
and probably with less buys.
Switching tracks. Which isn't
trains can do that.
Which trains can switch tracks.
They can't go backwards, but
They cannot go backwards.
What if
but
it's
they
an
can.
untethered express? Can it switch tracks?
It can another express exactly goes wherever it feels like. We have there have been some now official Ixalan previews.
Yes.
Well, let's chat about them real quick. Yeah.
All right. So what's caught your eyeball holes in Ixalan so far? Have you gotten a chance to look at these?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
What for you is standing out as super exciting, Sam?
As a limited player, I like to look at the limited bombs and figure out what I want to take in a limited deck. I'm really excited about some of these mythic rares because they are just as cool and big and bomby as other ones, but they look like fun limited, just simple, good limited cards. Like Carnage Tyrant, for instance, which is a 7/6 trample hexproof for 6 mana that
Welcome
cannot
back,
be countered.
Scaled Behemoth
2.0,
2.0, but better.
But luckily this time they were like, wait a second. Also, it's a mythic and not an uncommon.
Oh, that's good.
Wait a
That's
moment.
nice.
That's good. Yeah, that card's bonkers.
Yeah.
I'm also really excited. They mentioned that with the leak that happened, they're going to be showing off more commons and uncommons than usual. And as a limited player, those are really the meat of your draft. You really need those. You really need those in your deck. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what I'm working with.
You're going to have a draft deck with like some commons and uncommons in it.
It's just gonna happen.
It's just gonna happen.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. And that's kind of nice to like not just like have them tossed in at the end, right? Of like, oh, and here's the the comments or whatever. But it's like, oh, let's showcase
these off, because that's what's going to make or break a format. How good it is, what kind of format it is, what the speed is, etc. I just want to take this quick moment to point out that Megan and I last show did some Ixalan predictions before, and some people were like, cheating. You looked at the spoiler stuff that was leaked, and the answer is we did not.
We did not.
We had no information, and we were right about a fair number, which a scary number, actually.
You were correct about vehicles.
Vehicles are back. We've got
correct
pirate
about
ships.
Jace going crazy and planeswalking into somewhere he didn't know.
Yep. And what was the other thing? Oh, the banner that helps your pirates. I said it helps your pirates, but it helps anything.
A banner that says "Help Target Pirate" or something.
It just helps your pirates.
It helps your pirates.
It can also help your vampires or help your dinosaurs. But anyway,
in this case, it can
that
help
is 3 days of 8 ounces of glasses of water a day that you all need to drink. So just get healthy, everyone. Get healthy. Great.
Get really hydrated.
What have you seen?
Pull
this up on my phone.
I think I was very surprised to see vehicles this morning. I did not know that had been leaked. And we just had vehicles in Kaladesh, and they were pretty sweet, but I don't know. I was kind of excited for something new, but I guess I'll hold my judgment, and I am excited to see what they do with them this time and how they make them different. I played a lot of Marty vehicles in Standard when it was good, so I'm hoping I can do that again. Yeah, it was a great deck. Gideon is an amazing Magic card.
You big monster.
Also, I am also a little skeptical of double-faced cards. I think they're really cool, but I really don't like kind of having to deal with them in draft and show them to everyone, and I hate having to bring sleeves that are good enough or like find the right checklist
sleeves would just be good enough. Just saying.
Some of them you can see through.
I know, but I'm saying like sleeve makers.
All sleeves should just be good enough.
But like it's fun to have fun colors of sleeves, Maria. You don't want to bring the same color of sleeves, and sometimes the like yellows and whites and oranges just aren't good
I'm
enough.
just saying we should not have to compromise, right?
Yeah.
We should have to fun stuff.
Not even wear sleeves.
Yeah, it just sleeves. Suns out, guns out to every Ixalan tournament.
That's definitely what I'm going to say next time somebody doesn't have.
Yes.
All right, suns out, guns out.
There's not a lot of double-faced cards.
No.
There's only some.
And let's bring one up here that is pretty cool. What is it called? Treasure Map. Treasure Map. It costs 2 colorless or generic, 1 tap, scry 1, put a landmark counter on Treasure Map. Then there are 3 or more landmark counters on it. Remove those counters, transform it, and create 3 colorless treasure artifact tokens with tap, sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. You transforms into Treasure Cove, which is a land. Tap, add colorless to your mana pool, tap, sacrifice treasure, draw a card. So that's an instance. Yeah. By the way, the back of those cards, really beautiful. I just want to point out.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, I love that.
That is
that
really
art
cool.
and frame.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. The frame is
Shouldn't
really,
you be showing them,
really
not
nice.
us?
Oh, look, through the power of editing, Greg, we will be able to do
screen. Greg, we've done this a time or two before.
That is, and
back when I was on your podcast, we didn't have these videos.
No, we
that's
didn't.
fair.
We were audio only. If you want to find Greg's episode, go to our website, search Greg.
It was actually
search the search term Greg.
Yeah, if I recall, it was the last one before you did videos. Also, you definitely spelled my name wrong, so I don't know if they can find.
Spell your name
You
wrong.
spelled my last name.
Oh, yes,
okay.
yes. I can see how that happened.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine. Get over it.
This vehicle, by the way, sleek schooner, costs 3 generic, crew 1. It's a 4/3, by the way.
Wow.
It's pretty sweet.
The thing to me that says is that they're kind of scaling back vehicles from where they were in Kaladesh.
Right.
If you compare that to Renegade Freighter, which was a common and gets +1/+1 and has trample when it attacks.
Right.
That card was just...
I mean, sure, this one is crew 1 instead of crew 2, but the fact that they increased its rare and made it worse means that I think they're going to have vehicles in a much better place for this limited format, and for Constructed also, there probably won't be a Smuggler's Copter type thing running around.
Although Heart of Kieran can really bite it.
Yeah, or they're probably not going to run back Heart of Kieran.
Probably not.
Thank
So I
goodness.
think that'll be cool to see how they play out in Limited without being kind of pushed too far like they were in
Right.
College
And we
Ball.
did mention that. I said, I hope vehicles are back. I think they're so cool and pirates need a ship, but they got to be worse. They just got to be worse.
Yeah. Matt, is there anything that's caught your eye?
That double face card we just talked about. I really like double face cards. I think I have a bit of a Melvin. Is that the like psychographic thing?
That likes to do weird stuff?
I think it's the
I thought
one where it's
Melvin
like
was
you
flavor.
really.
No, that's
I really
focus.
like when cards kind of through their mechanics like really evoke the flavor of the card.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a lot of opportunities for them to do stuff with that, with like pirates and so forth.
Right.
And double face cards, I think, really help them with that. Like this treasure map leading you to the treasure cove. That's
Makes
very
sense.
cool to me.
Yeah.
Look at this dinosaur, by the way. Goring Ceratops. Just gorgeous. The art in this set looking like it's going to be absolutely amazing. Beautiful rainbow hair
Yeah.
on this 3/3 double striker for
Right.
7.
Are you inspired? Are you gonna?
I mean, I look at this and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
man, it's time to
That
dye
hair.
my hair
Is it
again.
hair or is it feathers?
It is
It's
feathers. Feathers. Whenever Goring Ceratops attacks other creatures you control, gain double strike until end of turn. So
Wow.
keep
Wow,
playing
wow.
a 7-drop, man.
Also, so let's talk about doubling Jace.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we've got Jace.
That's a
Megan was
weird
right about
pair.
Pirate Jace.
That's right, Pirate Jace.
He's here.
Went crazy, doesn't know who he is. I don't know if that's actually the story, but it seems like.
It looks like it. I
It
mean, if
looks
he's
like
dressing like this,
I know. Jace, what happened to your outfit?
Jace is showing a lot of shoulder.
He really is.
He is rocking the suns out, guns out on Ixalan. He knows no sleeves on
He
Ixalan.
No
is.
sleeves on, no sleeves.
Okay, so tell what does this card
The
do?
-5 on this Jace. It has some other abilities, whatever.
Don't even worry about it.
Forget
The
it!
ultimate is the most important part.
-5, create 2 tokens that are copies of Jace, Cunning Castaway, except they're not legendary.
So yeah, so now all the planeswalkers say legendary on them to kind of clear up the legend rule. But anyway,
Yeah, so the Planeswalker uniqueness rule is of the past. And now they are legendary planeswalkers, but in this case, you're making copies that aren't legendary.
okay. Just as we
So you
introduce this
just get-
rule, we're
so
just
you
gonna
get
break
2
it.
Jaces,
This is a weird.
and then you get to start going crazy with them.
And then what's the doubling season deal?
Oh, I don't know. You can just keep making Jaces
Forever and ever.
Yeah, forever and ever. If you're into that sort of thing.
I mean, yeah. That's pretty sweet. I mean, you also get a bunch
like
of
a
tutus,
nightmare.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah, that's true. You get a
-2
bunch of illusions.
Illusion. Make a 2/2 blue
Noting
illusion.
the copies of Jace though have the same loyalty of the Jace, correct?
No, they'd be like new. Jace
They're like
cards.
new Jaces that have a loyalty
Okay.
of 3.
So they'd be 3. Yep.
Yeah.
Doubling season, anyone?
But
Yeah.
isn't his
Yeah.
+1 like kind of bad? So
+1's probably.
Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player this turn, draw a card, then discard a card. Yeah, that's like very
Whatever.
Yeah.
But Greg, you can double these Jaces.
Okay.
Don't
I know.
want double
All we
Jace.
want
Double
is
your
more
Jaces, double
sleeveless
your
men
fun.
on the battlefield. I get it.
They better have some. Man, what are the tokens gonna look like? You know, they're probably.
Oh,
Yeah, they do
man.
have
Are
to
they gonna
figure
have
that out.
token planeswalkers that you can get in packs?
I mean, that was
Then,
my
like,
question.
you'd think they would.
I
right?
want
Yeah.
the.
They have emblems, so and this would be in place of an emblem, right?
Right.
That's what I
Wow.
That's gonna be
Imagine
a complicated token.
looking at the back of your pack and being like, "Sweet, I got a cool planeswalker." Oh,
Oh,
no, it's
Never
just
mind,
kidding.
it's just a Jace token.
think. Bad beats. Bad
That would be
beats.
so
One
sad.
more card and Jace is actually in the pack too. You got 2 Jaces.
Whoa! Do you all know
Two
the story of
Jaces.
one time I had 2 planeswalkers in one pack?
Oh, that happened at a draft.
Yeah, one was
remember
foiled,
that.
obviously. I feel like at least one of you had to be there for it.
Wasn't it? It was like Xenagos and Ashiok.
Was this
Yeah.
sealed?
No, it was a draft.
It was a
That's
draft.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it is too bad. You're
Yeah.
right. I was just gonna pull up some more mixed spoilertons here.
I was looking at. I mean, you all know what I'm excited for.
What?
5 red, Star of
Oh, yeah.
Extinction. Destroy target land. Star of Extinction deals 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker.
Ridiculous.
lot of
Everyone can
damage.
die. Everyone
Just
can
get wrecked.
Is that a story like a story spotlight card?
No.
I don't
Does
know.
Ixalan get extinct?
The flavor text refers to like some vision or something, so I think maybe
Yeah.
it's not.
Oh, okay, not real.
Which is a very cool way to like get that trope in there without
Yeah.
actually nuking Ixalan with a meteor.
I like this alternate win condition card, Revel in Riches, 4 and a black for an enchantment. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, create a treasure. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10 or more treasures, you win the game.
Pretty sweet.
Pretty sick.
Pretty sweet.
By the way, treasures, same as gold that we used to have,
Yeah.
right?
Why did
Whatever.
they not just
Why-
make them gold?
Gold, you didn't have to tap it to get mana.
Just sacrifice
You
it.
just sacrificed it,
Oh,
and so the treasure is slightly different.
because you have to tap it?
So yeah, you tap and sacrifice.
But what difference does
And
it
it makes a
make?
difference to like improvise, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But it's probably just for the flavor that they changed it. I imagine.
But I mean, the treasure is gold, right?
You can have all
I mean,
kinds
you
of
can have
treasure,
all
man,
kinds
like
of. It's
friendship.
true that you can have all kinds of.
I gotta say one more thing is that there's a lot of badass lady pirates and ladies in this set, and I'm looking at one right now, Admiral Beckett Brass.
Oh, she's amazing.
She's great. 1, Grixis colors.
Oh yeah, you're right. Gold, you don't have to tap. It just says
Interesting.
sacrifice this artifact.
1 blue, black, red for a 3/3 legendary pirate lord here. Pirate lord. So she gives other pirates you control +1/+1. And then this is the funniest part of her, which is very flavorful. At the beginning of your end step, gain control of target non-land permanent controlled by a player who has dealt combat damage by 3 or more pirates this turn.
That's a lot of text.
Yeah, it's really kind of confusing, but it's like if you attack with 3 pirates and they get through, then you just get something.
Then you get to make someone else a pirate.
I think taking treasure would be very flavorful.
Oh, that would be
Although
so
they'd
great.
probably
Problem-
sack it in response.
Probably a lot of better choices too.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're taking 3 because they just have nothing and are losing horribly.
And they're
anyway.
losing.
Yeah, like
you
if
gotta
you're taking
attack the
3,
3
like,
pirates.
You're losing. What
Yeah.
are you doing? But it's just like flavor win for me there. Is there anything else that has caught your eye?
Yeah, one of the cool things I really liked, there is a blue card. I believe it costs 6 mana. It returns all of your opponent's creatures to their hand.
Yes,
non-land
River's
non-land
Rebuke.
permanents.
Non-land permanents. So, what is the flavor text on that card?
Carefully following the thematic compass Bolas had given her, Vraska blundered straight into the River Herald's trap.
Did you hear that name? Bolas. Still in this set.
Wow.
That jerk.
So he's
Something
not done
jerk.
with us yet, is he?
So Vrashka too. So Ralzeric and Vrashka are on Team Bolas.
Wait, are you saying Vrashka?
Vrashka.
Vrashka?
What?
Vraska. There's no H.
Whatever.
Unless she's Russian. Vrashka.
He's probably
I
Russian.
mean, if Bolas is Russian.
Originally Ravnica was supposed to be an Eastern
It is.
European
That's true,
set.
that's
It
true.
Sort of lost that flavor when they returned to it, but
Very
that
true.
is a.
You mean there's not
that
Gorehouse
sound.
Chainwalkers going and hanging out in Russia?
I mean, it seems like an alright place for it. So Tezzeret also. Tezzeret, Ralzeric, Vraska.
But he was called Tezzeret, Agent of Bolus. So
Oh,
we
that's
knew
true. We all
that. We
knew.
knew about that one.
Yeah.
I was surprised about the Ralzeric part.
Yeah.
I was like, Ral, what are you doing? Why?
Ral, come on.
Ral, come on.
But Bolas is now branching into green. It sounds like because
Oh,
Rash is
man.
a green-black.
Yeah.
planeswalker.
Yeah.
So next time we see Bolas, is Bolas going to be 5 color?
That'd be
5-color
pretty
Bolas.
sweet. Can't imagine white in Nicol Bolas.
Yeah,
but
that's-
there have
I
been
don't
white
know.
bad guys.
Maybe-
We haven't seen a Johnny for a while.
Oh no!
What are you up to,
Corrupt a Johnny?
But what if you
That'd be
can't?
really,
Or
really
like,
questionable.
you
story
guys,
decision.
Nahiri went pretty bad.
That's true.
like Nahiri could be on Bolas.
That would be.
That did take like millennia, right?
That's true. And she was. I will advocate that Nahiri only brought to Soren what was coming to him. Like what he had
Fair
coming.
assessment.
Exactly. Based on what he had done, he pretty deserved
And the
it.
rest of the plane also had it coming to it, right?
I mean, like. Okay, she does not care much for incidental damage. She's like, whatever.
Look, a lot of things gonna get messed up in this My
Exactly.
Revenge scheme, but worth it.
Worth it.
Merfolk in this set as well, and we got a cool Merfolk card. I don't know if people will play this or not. They might. 1 blue
I mean,
for a 2/2.
Merfolk players in Modern are already excited.
They
about
like this card? Okay.
because it takes the place of the Great Glass Spinner.
Oh yes. So this is Kapala, Warden of Waves, legendary Merfolk wizard. Spells your opponents cast that target a Merfolk you control cost 2 more to cast. Abilities your opponents control that target a Merfolk you control cost 2 more to activate.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there you
Merfolk
go.
players rejoice everywhere.
Also-
that's very similar.
Green Merfolk are so weird.
Yes,
the
that is
mono
true.
green Merfolk. What's
Right?
going on?
Bizarre.
That's kind of strange.
So, like this so far, it looks like the most tribal of any set that we've played during.
Yes, it certainly has.
Which is really neat. I'm interested in playing that because we haven't ever played a set that's like very tribally themed.
Yeah, we've got pirates, vampires, merfolk, dinosaurs, which usually means cool draft environment.
Yeah.
Honestly. And also usually means sometimes sealed's a little bit harder because you can't get those synergies. But I'm super looking forward to it. I would take tribal over not tribal any day.
Yeah. It's interesting how the like color combinations of the tribes are like not, because you have 2 3-color tribes and 2 2-color tribes. I haven't played with a set that's like that. I mean, I guess it probably doesn't have much of a multicolor component, so maybe that's not noticeable as much in draft. But
Wasn't Lorwyn kind of like that? That was
I
like
have no idea.
weird. Okay.
Lorwyn
ago.
was one random 3-color tribe, which was the tree folk, and then there was a 5-color tribe,
Yeah.
elementals.
which was elementals.
And like elves were green black, but merfolk were blue white, so they weren't like ally enemy color.
Didn't they like
There's
also
no-
like change between like Lorwyn and
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's just a mess.
I like those sets.
Well, we'll
I'm excited
have
for tribal.
more Ixalan chitter chatter
Yeah.
on next week's episode because I'm getting hyped for this set.
Oh yeah.
I've got the pre-release on my calendar, ready to go.
I should write it onto my calendar so I don't double book myself.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
I'm like, Megan, where are you going for the pre-release? Oh, no.
No. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was wonderful to hear your insights on how, you managed to get onto the Pro Tour and hopefully, stay on the train, as the players call it, stay on that gravy magic train.
Are you guys on Twitter if people would like to find you?
Yes, we are. I'm on Twitter at magic_Michael, or we can say Magic Michael. There is no A in my name, and the P at the end is silent. So don't worry about the
I
P.
just really
It's
don't
pronounced
understand that
Magic
name, but-
Michael.
Maybe you should spell that out.
MICHELP.
P.
Okay,
Yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
it. That's me.
No, I don't
fair
have a
enough.
Twitter account.
Okay.
Good job, Sam.
Is it all related to magic?
Yeah.
My Twitter account is MtG_MSJ. That's my initials for my lengthy last name. Haven't quite gotten to the stage of having a profile picture yet, but
So you're still an egg?
I'm hoping to like win a tournament and then I can like
Yeah, put
hoist
the
a trophy
trophy.
for.
Yeah.
But
There you
Yeah.
go.
I'm not gonna.
Perfect.
That's
Yeah.
my incentive.
Okay.
To win a tournament
Okay.
is to get a
So
profile
I
picture
can
on Twitter.
You guys, I really have to win this tournament. I need a Twitter profile picture.
This is like in high school, I was a golfer. My dad was, my coach, and so he was very strict. And I wanted to wear a backpack bag, like nowadays, all golf bags are backpack bags because they're so horrible for your back. But back then, it was like a new invention. And so I was carrying around this one strapper, and I was like, please, can I get something so that I can have a backpack bag? It hurts to carry it around. He's like, finish well enough at a tournament, you can have a backpack bag.
That's horrible. That's terrible.
Yeah, man. Well, I certainly did. I mean, it worked.
Did you get that backpack?
I
bag?
sure did.
Nice.
That sounds like a vicious cycle though, because
Yeah.
you're hurting your back more, which means you're
And
going to
you,
get
like,
worse
can't
at the
play
time.
as well.
I know. It was brutal.
Messed up.
Brutal days.
Also, while you're talking about who we are, the three of us have a team name. We go by Team Face, named after the song "I Can't Feel My Face When I'm With You,"
Oh, yeah.
which was playing on repeat on our first road trip to a GP. So
Aw.
we are Team Face.
How do you feel about
guys
team
are
face-to-face
so-
game?
That's stole it from us.
Definitely.
Fair enough.
I thought you guys were
Yeah.
Team Pirate Boys. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
what I'm
As
gonna
far
call
as we
you.
know,
Working on
you're
that one.
Pirate Boys.
No, we're the Lost Boys.
Oh, that's
We
right,
don't
you're
fight
Lost
the
Boys.
Pirate
Oh, okay,
That's
okay,
right.
okay.
We'll see about it.
Riding the animatronic dinosaurs.
Matt's answer to everything is just like,
We'll see.
We'll see.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. See you back here next week for more Ixalan news. Remember to head to patreon.com/MTAcast to help us afford things like chairs and rent. It's actually super important to us that you become a patron, and thank you to everybody who has joined our Less Than 1% Club since our last episode. And of course, thank you again to cardkingdom.com/what, everybody?
MTA
Cast.
not
Right.
slash what. I want to be clear.
Yeah, that will not work.
It's not cardkingdom.com
That will not
slash what. Although I wish it were. Also, if you put in the comments that you want a sticker of ours, you
Yeah.
want a sweet MTA sticker, you
They
can
will
get
send
one.
you one.
Yeah. Until next week.
High five, everybody. Group high five. Get in on this.
Man, how does this work? 5 hands? Okay.
Five
It's a
hands.
high
That's
five.
like,
One
maybe that's what I was
five.
supposed to do.
Five.
I'm doing it
How many?
wrong all.
5, 10,
like
15, 20,
connect
25.
one finger.
Oh yeah, we should have put one finger in.
Okay, one finger in.
So that was just like a group ET.
That was pretty weird. All right, I regret that.